Live from the City of Angels, it's Sunday night. So much energy, baby. Big night. President Trump has weighed in on Hollywood. That is moments away. But is Marvel dead? Thunderbolts underwhelmed. And if the MCU is not on life support, they're in a really bad way right now, right? All that coming up tonight in addition to the live MMT evaluation of The Surfer. Nic Cage doing Nic Cage. Shocking. You're listening to Robert Parker's 85 Again. The Index Code Remix. Tonight's MMT musical selection is available for free for you. I put the link in the description of this video. Also, it's in the chat tonight. This is exactly the kind of stuff that we like playing here on this Sunday night. Thanks for being here. Get ready to go. Yes, am I being a little bit hyperbolic by telling you that Marvel might be dead? Are they finished? I mean, of course. But I'm not trying to get views. Okay, guys, come on, man. I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who just likes to discuss the state of the business and obviously anything theatrical. And this is a perfect topic for tonight because Marvel is just not performing like they have in the past. We have seen diminishing returns repeatedly with the MCU and again here with Thunderbolts. As we look at THR here tonight and we look at their headline for the opening of $161 million, and that was a global debut. Stateside was only $76 million, which is under Captain America: Brave New World. The entire thing, $30 million under. On the global debut, Thunderbolts / Cox versus... For those of you who watch MMT, you got it. Versus Brave New World. So you look and they're saying it's solid. I mean, if you think Shang-Chi, very similar opening, and almost identical to Eternal's global debut at 161. That's not good. 5 years on, right? Was Eternal's 2021? Or is it 2022? I'm telling you, I've lost track. These films are just not great. I mean, we talked about that on Thursday night. You go back and you look at Thunderbolts. That is a very underwhelming film. I don't care what the Marvel shills try to tell you. This is not a great film. Not good enough to make a difference in this world that seems to value average mid films. Look at Sinners. Hellaciously overrated film. So why don't we just say the same thing with Thunderbolts? Oh, it's the best MCU movie in a month. That's about where we're at. So many untrustworthy, shilly people out there. Why do you listen to any of them? They're useless. Straight to the Disney email, you can see here, 161.2 million on the global debut. We talked about this morning on Breaking Box Office. And some of you were angry at me on Twitter because I put this tweet out saying that it was a $76 million debut and the worldwide was identical to Eternals and the GIF. And yes, I'll call it GIF. Don't you dare tell me it's a GIF. It's GIF. Like the peanut butter. It says, okay, that was really good, right? When she's talking to Harbor and Dad and the whole thing. I didn't mean to pick that GIF. I just grabbed it. I'm half awake when this box office shit comes in here in L.A. Sunday morning, man. It's not late. It's early here in Los Angeles. But then I have Nerdrotic coming in saying, matching the Eternals, is that good? And I'm like, where did I say it's good in the tweet? It says it's good in the GIF. That wasn't planned. So get off my back. I called it this morning. This is not great. Look what the name of the stream tonight is. Is Marvel finished? Don't accuse me of being a Marvel shill. What are you talking about, man? You don't know who you're messing with here. We are the gold in standard, baby. No one even comes close to MMT. It's not a contest. We're objective, we're fearless, and we're talented. And we don't have an agenda. And this film is an underwhelming debut. As I go to Captain America Brave New World, you can see 192.4. So 30 million under Brave New World. Oh, by the way, what did Captain America Brave New World end up with? 414 million. So if it was lucky and we stretch the numbers around a little bit and do creative accounting, it might have almost broken even. I'm not saying it did, but I'm saying if we were to play a little game of I don't really know what the budget is, and that's okay, 414. But here's the thing. We're now talking about a Marvel movie with Captain America. Not really, but you know what I mean. Captain America making 400 million worldwide. And now we got Thundercox coming in at 161. Not going to get close to 400 on the worldwide. The only thing this film has going for it, there's nothing coming out next weekend. So that's good for Thundercox because it has no competition. Film's not great. I can't believe I have to have this debate with people when they watch Thundercox. Oh, it's the best MCU movie since Brave New World. That's what we live in. That's the world we live in now. We have a bunch of people who aren't even qualified to speak on this shit. That's the story of our world now, right? Everybody has an opinion. You can't say one is better than the other because it's all subjective. Right? You know those people. Oh, but film's subjective. Yeah, if you're a fucking idiot, it is. Some of you don't even know what you're doing. You think Thunderbolts is a great film because it deals with depression. Okay, great. Fantastic. I don't mind watching that. But it's not a great portrait of depression. It feels like a gloss over that tries to be a deeper connecting film that fails miserably. And I think it goes back to, we talk about the direction on this film. It's very average. In fact, I want to point to something as I discuss Thunderbolts and the direction in particular. And I mentioned this back on Thursday night during the evaluation. What did I tell you guys about that film when I watched it? I told you the only time it really came to life was when you had the end credit scenes. First of all, the first one where he's shopping for Wheaties in the grocery store straight out of Flash. Almost looks like the same shot. Okay? That looked a little different. But then when we get to the final end credit scene, the real end credit scene, it looks totally different. It looks better. Listen, why? Did you guys hear? Because guess who directed that? The Russo brothers directed that. Not this guy. The Russo brothers. Now, I have dragged the Russo brothers for how many films? Cherry for sure, right? And you look at The Gray Man and Electric State. But here's what I will say about them. They have a good look. They know how to shoot a film. It looks glossy. It looks big. And I hate their edits, but I like the overall aesthetic of what they're doing. And you can see that in that final shot. And I told you that's when the film actually looks kind of cool once we get there. And you can tell it's a reshoot, right? You can tell the difference. This is what we bring to the table. I called it on Thursday. I didn't know, but the director just confirmed it was the Russo brothers who shot that. I just want to make sure that you guys understand that we're the gold standard. So when I say these things, and then they're pointed out to be accurate, you remember who called it first. That's right, because we see everything. But back to Marvel being finished. I want to bring in another angle here that is really wild when you think about it. How many of these end credit scenes have never panned out? This dude, Sparking on X, says Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Midness. That one didn't with Charlize Theron. Then you had the dude from Ted Lasso and Thor Love and Thunder. Never saw him again. I don't watch She-Hulk. Let's skip that. Wakanda Forever. Not really a payoff there. Quantumania. No. Obviously we know why. So many of these. What happened to Harry Styles? Remember that? What happened to that shit? It's a mess. Marvel is an absolute mess. Do you know why? Did you guys hear? Kevin Feige is checked out. That's basically what's happening. Look here. This is a brand new report from the Wall Street Journal, WSJ. We're going to steal from Screen Rant because I don't have a subscription to WSJ. Kevin Feige, back in 2020, during COVID-19 and all of that, we need content. Everyone's at home. Crank out the content. Feige said, okay, Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, I'll do it. I'll satisfy the parent company Disney's hunger for content, quote unquote. And it stretched Feige and his team thin to the point where employees who worked in the 2020's Marvel project said it was challenging to secure enough time with Feige to get his feedback. This resulted in various creative teams having to work weeks fine-tuning stuff that became irrelevant once Feige said, this is what we want to do, because he was too busy. Because he said yes. Because of a zealousness to tell more stories and a desire to be an excellent corporate citizen. Well, I can tell you this. If Marvel wants to hire me, I am not going to ever be. This will never happen. I'll never be an excellent corporate citizen. So if you want to bring me in, I'll be the complete antithesis of that, but I'll get shit done. And I would have told Iger, you're stretching us too thin. I'm not doing it. Look what we're doing. We're doing She-Hulk, for fuck's sake. This is what you're making us do, She-Hulk. No one wants to watch this shit. But no, Feige. Okay, Bob Iger. I worship at the altar of Disney. That's the thing. If any of these studios ever had the balls to bring me in, I would come in day one and say, here's what we're doing. Boom, 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 boom. And someone would say, hold on, you're not the CEO. I don't fucking care, man. I just said we're doing this, this, and this. Do you understand? Don't get me started on DEI. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Apple's The Studio, episode 7, which deals all with that, checking boxes, DEI. That's going to be fun. It's coming up. Fun episode. A return, not as good as the early, but still, it's in my wheelhouse, right? I'm not playing that game. When I step into the Disney boardroom and they say, you got to do this and this and this, or it's not going to pass. Oh, hell, no, hell, listen, we're making a good show. Fuck shows. We're making good movies. So therefore, you'll listen to what I have to say, and we're going to cast this person and this person. And if you tell me that's not enough diversity or whatever, I'm going to tell you, get out of my fucking face. That's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to run the fucking show, and you're going to sit back and enjoy it. And I'm going to deliver. That's the thing. Hands off, I deliver. Feige, on the other hand, is like, well, I'll be a corporate guy. I don't understand how a guy like Feige, who has more money than he'll ever need in a million lifetimes, doesn't have the cojones to walk up to anybody and say, we're not doing this. This isn't the right thing. No. The answer is no. Because that very often is the better answer for a lot of things out there in life, right? If you just had the guts to stand up and say no at one point, it would never have gotten this far. But Feige didn't, and now he's been course correcting for the past several films. And here's the problem. We go back to Thursday night and that Thunder Cox evaluation. I'll call it whatever I want. It's not good enough to get Marvel back into the overall awareness to the average person. Not film Twitter, not comic book nerds, like where we were pre and immediately post Endgame. We're not anywhere near there because the product isn't great. If you're in a slump, you better crank out great content, not okay content or mid-plus content. It's got to be exceptional content. And Marvel's not doing it. The writing is not strong enough. The direction here in Thundercox is not strong enough. And therefore, you're never going to get back if you're not making great stuff. It's like a company that first opens and their first products may have a flaw or two, but they're made really well. They're sturdy. Look at Nike, right? You look at a lot of iterations of Nike stuff. Some of the earlier stuff is built better. the materials are higher quality. But then as we go on, because I do collect shoes, you guys know I have a ton of basketball shoes, okay? And if you look at the iterations of a 1 to a 2 to a 3 to a 4, typically the quality goes down. The shoe gets cheaper as we get up into 5, 6, 7, 8. Kobe's are some of the best of all time because they managed to keep that quality standard so high. Marvel is not Kobe's. They are the Giannis shoes, which are getting worse and worse and worse. Trust me, someone got it out there who loves movies and collects basketball sneakers. And the problem is if you make a lesser quality product over time, then people are really going to check out. And that is where we are at. Marvel is on the ropes. And I'm here to tell you that unless you get this shit course corrected and bring in some really talented people with a very clear vision on where we want to go without having to check boxes and do the DEI bull fucking shit, you're gonna have to suffer the consequences of having an inferior product and people giving even less of a shit than they give right now. By the way, I've been on for 15 minutes. I have fucking destroyed the first 15 minutes of the stream. It is the best 15 minutes I've ever done in a live. This is a one fucking take on a Sunday night. Nobody comes close. We're the gold standard because no one has the balls to say half the things I say and to also still be objective. That's why we're the gold standard. Which is better, Thunderbolts or Quantumania? Quantumania is a lot more fun. I mean, I think it knows what it is. I think Thunderbolts is an attempt, again, to make a film that it doesn't end up being. It doesn't really dip into the depression that I want to see. You want to see a film that deals with depression and deals with how to keep going when you lose everything? Go watch one of my number one films of last year. Well, I had a few, but it was right up there, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. Handling the Undead from Neon. Now that's a film that deals with depression. Is a hell of a lot better than the commercial crap that is Thunderbolts masquerading as some kind of art house depression flick. Not good. This film's not good. And anyone who tells you that it's a great film, they probably thought Sinners is a masterpiece. Oh, I bet. Along with every other movie. So that's what we do now. Comments. God, that was unbelievable. Now listen, there's times when I know the show is like, and I know and I'm like, that was fucking nailed. And I just literally just go here. I've got some basic ideas, an outline sketch, and we're going to go bam, 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 bam. And everything I just said is better than anything you're going to hear on any other channel talking about Thundercocks. Not a contest. You guys ready to talk about Trump? We'll get to it in 1 second. Yes, exactly, Eric. Thunderbolts need to go even darker. Thank you. I mean, that's the thing. Go back and listen, guys. Just watch Handling the Undead. Just watch it. That's how you do depression. Hell, man, that film's dark. I love it. Not this shit. Oh, I'm depressed. How about, this film, this undercuts everything in the first 5 minutes, right? She's jumping off the building. Florence Pugh's going off the side. She's like, oh, everything's just whatever. I'm depressed. Or maybe I just need whatever she says, some action. And she goes in and kills the guy. She instantly undercuts all of the depression by saying, all I needed to do is blow up a lab. This is terrible. You guys, why do I have to be the only person on the planet who sees this shit? You guys are way too kind to these movies. Start being harder. Start asking for more. Like Trump. Breaking news, everybody. Watch out. Trump, I got to get to this because, listen, my audience, I got to say this. One thing that I love about MMT is we have both sides here. It's not all conservative. It's not all liberal. We managed to bridge the gap because people know that even if sometimes I sound like I'm right wing, then I go left and then I go right because I'm centrist, because I only discuss things I believe that I think I'm on the right side of history about apolitically. And I think that is the strength of what we do. If you're watching a Nerdrotic, if you're watching a Gore, you know damn well what that audience is. If I say anything that's even remotely left-leaning, they're going to revolt. What? You guys, I got both of y'all here because you know we're fair. And that is something that you cannot buy. That is something you earn. And I've earned that in the 2.5, God, is it almost 3 years of this? Holy shit. I've earned it. The commodity of trustworthiness has been earned here at MMT. Whether you agree with me or disagree, you know that I'm objective. And I'm even objective about something like DEI because I want merit. I do never, ever, ever want somebody who's hired because of the color of their skin. White, black, any color. I don't want that. No, we want the best person. End of discussion. So what does that make me? Right or left? It makes me correct, is what it makes me. Trump is about ready. He wants to look into 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S. because the movie industry in America is dying. I'll get to your Marvel comments. I promise I'll get to more at the end of the show. If I don't get to them now, I will get to as many as possible in the comment blast closeout. Promise. But I want to get to this. It's very important. Hollywood is in bad shape. Let me explain how I know that it's in trouble. I live here. They don't shoot shit in Hollywood anymore. When I first moved back up here in 17, 18, there were still lots of shows and the lots were busy. Okay, then COVID came, then the strikes, and now almost nothing is shot on the lots. You walk onto a Warner Brothers, a Disney, the old Fox lot now is completely barren. Sony, Paramount, it's a ghost town because the tax credits are given from other states, for one, and also to other countries where people, these studios and these producers say, let's set up shop in the UK, let's set up shop in Romania, wherever it is that's cheaper to shoot because we tax the shit out of everything, especially here in LA. Our governor Newsom hammers you with all kinds of stuff. If you just want to shoot here in Burbank, you got to go through so many hoops. You got to have all of the stuff in place, and it costs like 10 times as much. So let me say this, and this is going to piss some people off, and you guys think Trump is Hitler. Trump has at least his heart here in the right spot, saying we want to bring jobs back to the United States and to help out the economy here in the U.S., okay, and not rely on all of the shooting going on overseas. Now, if you're shooting something like Mission Impossible, right, where you're going around doing globe trotting, that's different than I'm going to go shoot Ballerina in Romania because it's cheap. I can save a ton of cash. Of course you're going to do that. Every production wants to be budget-minded and make sure that they adhere to whatever that budget is and get it under it if you can. And if you shoot here, it's going to be way harder to get that done. That's what Trump's trying to do here. So I'm just saying from the logistic standpoint of his mindset of trying to bring this stuff back here to make LA hum again, to make anywhere here in the United States more appealing than dragging your location overseas because you're going to save a lot of cash. I don't mind this. Oh, no. Listen, if some of you don't like that, too bad, because I told you guys, I don't value people based on everything they do is terrible, everything they do is great. It's got to be case by case. What's happening, and in this case, I think it's very, very fair that he is at least exploring this because I know there's a number of people here in Los Angeles that have not worked in a very long time, okay? You can just see the productions have grinded to a halt, especially after those strikes that really did major damage to this town. So for people that are living here, they're leaving. There are so many for rent signs all over Burbank, all over the valley, all over Los Angeles, not just because the jobs are leaving, because the town's going to hell. I mean, if you go down to Hollywood, it is so much homeless. Oh, you guys, listen, it's bad. I mean, I don't know where you guys are, but I can tell you this. Last time I was in Hollywood, like 6 months ago, it's the point where it's like Walking Dead shit. You don't even want to get out of your car. I definitely can't park on the street. My car's going to get broken into They're just going to break the window. Even if there's nothing they want, break the window. Let's just look. And there's no repercussions. The cops are so stretched thin, defund the police, that they can't even deal with it. They won't even show up. At least here in Burbank, if something happens, they show up, they roll up. It's a bubble. If you're going to live in L.A., let me tell you right now, if you're thinking about coming out to L.A., live in Burbank. Do not live anywhere else. Definitely not Hollywood. Anywhere that's L.A., no, you're screwed. Do not do it, okay? You need to live in Burbank, in somewhere where it has a police force that surrounds and enforces the border. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, my God, the border. It's true. There's a border, and no one messes around Burbank because the cops will show up. They'll roll up. So don't tell me we don't need more police. Listen, I'm not saying every policeman's great. I'm just here to tell you that we need some sort of justice in place if you do something bad. It's not hard to figure out. Not hard at all. I think this is fair, everything I just said. We'll see what happens. But I don't mind this at all. I do want to bring up this, too, off the top as we go back and we look at Rian Johnson, who is now dragging Netflix's CEO. We love it. We called this last week. We made fun of Ted Sarandos, the CEO of Netflix, who said the reason movies are dying is because people can't walk to the movie theaters anymore. And I said at that time, how many movies have you seen that are walkable distance from your house? I had 0. In Boston, I might have done 1 in West Newton. 1 time. But of the thousands of movies I've seen in theaters, I have walked to the movie theater possibly once. I don't know. I can't even, be certain that's the case. Here's the deal. Rian Johnson says, I want to have my movie, Knives Out 3, on as many screens as possible. And he disagrees with the CEO of the guy who's making the movie. First of all, before I get into what Ryan had to say, don't you think it's a little weird for Rian Johnson to sit here and say, oh, well, I want my movie in theaters? You went inside with Netflix. You knew that wasn't going to happen. So you can't have it both ways. If you work with Netflix, you know they don't want to do theatrical, so why are you bitching? But let's read what he has to say, because I did make him our cinema champion just for saying something. And, calling out the CEO, that's badass. Okay, you might not like Ryan for what he did to Star Wars. Again, remember, case-by-case basis. He says, I do not agree with Sarandos that movie theaters are outdated because I love movies. I love going to movies. He talks about Sinners and Minecraft. I think theatrical is not going anywhere. I think we've seen if you put a movie people want to see in theaters, they're going to show up for it. Experience, being in a full house, having that experience is so important. It's something I love, and I want more in the world. The communal experience, right? We talk about that. Our theatrical cathedrals. I mean, yes, is this sacrilegious? Okay, but I'm just saying, right? The same idea. When you go into the movie theater, you are like, I'm in the place where this is going to be a communal experience of watching this film, and I might even have the opportunity to shame people who clap for a movie like Beau is Afraid. Remember that, everybody? I forgot all about that until I was thinking about tonight's show. When I went to see Beau is Afraid, someone got me on audio saying, God almighty, this is garbage. Who's clapping for this? And I was shaming the audience for clapping. Did you guys see Beau is Afraid? That's some trash. One of the worst films ever made. Ever. So I'm glad I did that night. There were no kids in there, by the way. No one took a kid to see Beau is Afraid. If you did, you're the worst parent on the planet. They would want to kill themselves. We already have a suicide crisis in this country. We don't need any more from taking kids to see Beau is Afraid. Oh, Weber, you crossed the line there. Too fucking bad. It's my channel. I'll do what I want. I want this as many theaters as possible. Talking about Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out 3. We're going to push for everything we can in terms of theatrical because I want as many people as possible to see it in that form. But again, you sign with Netflix, bro. Remember Glass Onion was in theaters for 1 week and then they yanked it? At least he got that. But the deal is this. Sarandos is wrong. It's not outdated. We need the films to be great. Marvel's not doing that. Tying it back to tonight's big topic. But when they are great, then movies rule. And I love being in the theater watching a great film. I'm sure you do too. So we are with Rian Johnson here tonight. I know, Stewie, that's what I said. I mean, he sold out to him. So he can't really have it both ways. He's trying to appease the fans. He wants to see his movie on screens. But again, once you sign that deal with Netflix, you have to know, and I think Greta Gerwig obviously found that out with the IMAX Narnia thing going on, that they eventually said yes to. I don't like that because Netflix does not get to call the shots. Listen, when I am running, at some point, if they want to bring me in as the theatrical man, I will be the Windows enforcer, as you guys know. If Netflix tries to do that shit, I'll say, listen, if you're going to put one movie in, you're going to put all your movies in that we want. We're going to be the ones picky, not you, Ted. And we're going to make it a 45-day window. 45 for everybody, including you, Netflix. So I'm not going to have special rules for you. I don't believe in that. How do you believe in that? Like, these people get a special thing? No. Everyone gets a 45-day window, including you, Netflix. So that's how it gets done. Again, I've got Adam Aaron making 10 plus million, maybe 20 million a year, and my man can't even get that shit settled. He's like, I wish we could. I hope we could. But we can't because I'm too much of a puss. Right? I want to show you guys that MMT was right again. I mean, it happens so often. Are you guys surprised? Here comes a little snippet from Saturday Night Live this past Saturday. What's the girl? I don't even know her name. Here, watch. You guys are going to have to help me on this. Here comes the girl who hosted SNL on Sunday. Help me out, guys. Who is this? Is it like Charisma or is something Carpenter? Karina? I don't know. But listen to what they say, because this is just, give me a second. It's all going to come back. Why am I correct? You're like, you never talked about this actress. I didn't. But guess what they're going to say? Listen to the whole thing. It's a skit about being short. Listen to the 16-second soundbite, and then I'll tell you why I was right again.
There's so much to do down here. So much to see from the view down here. Door handles, windowsills, toddler's eyes, people's crotches, and Jeremy Allen White.
Stop! Did you hear that? She's going through a list of everything that you can see if you see yours really short. They just called out Jeremy Allen White. What did I tell you guys was the problem? Oh my God. This is why we are the gold fucking standard. Sabrina Carpenter, thank you. Why? What did I tell you guys about Iron Claw? What did I say repeatedly about Iron Claw? That he's the wrong guy to play Kerry Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich was 6'4". I knew he was short, but they're calling him out as short, which means he's really short. That's what I told you was the problem with the movie. He doesn't look like Kerry Von Erich. But, of course, the film Twitter nerds don't understand that because they weren't around for Kerry Von Erich, one of the best bodies ever in Hollywood. I mean, well, in wrestling, but in general. I mean, dude, this guy, you want to pull it up one more time? Here comes Kerry Von Erich. You guys want to see? We're going to, okay, let's do this. Let's compare and contrast Kerry Von Erich's body with tonight's, oh, God, Weber's going to do it. Weber's going to go and do some body shaming tonight. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do it. You know why I'm going to do it? Because you're a movie star. Here's Kerry Von Erich. Look, 6'4", Greek god. Jeremy Allen White, like 5'4", a foot shorter. I don't know, something like that. You guys ready to, let's just, since we're doing this, and here comes the MMT evaluation soon after. Let's do the physique critique of Sebastian Stan. Oh, Weber, did you? Yes, I'm going to do it. I got to do it. If you're going to be in a Marvel movie, and you're going to play the Winter Soldier, you're going to play Bucky, you need to hit the weights, bro. What is this shit? There's no definition on that arm. None. That's bad form, Sebastian Stan. Get yourself in shape next time. And cut your hair. It's like a bowl cut. This is unacceptable. If I want my superheroes to be jacked. Come on, man. This ain't right. All right, here we go. MMT evaluation of the surfer. Listen, this show is just the nuttiest thing ever, isn't it? You guys ready? Let's watch a little bit of the trailer for the surfer. This is Nic Cage. He's back doing Nic Cage things. Shocking. In a movie that Jason Blum says is great. Oh, guess who's getting dragged in a few minutes? Here comes the trailer for tonight's MMT evaluation. This is The Surfer.
You can't stop a wave. Born in a storm, way out to sea. Pure energy. And it's all building to this breaking point.
Hey! Locals only!
I grew up here.
Don't live here. Don't surf here.
Hey, Dad.
It's okay. You're scaring my boy.
Now. No need for all this fuss. Listen to me, brother. I know it's smart to lose face in front of your boy, but you went to back down, or it could get a whole lot worse.
This quote, this is what I'm talking about. Collider, 99 minutes of pure sun-beaten terror. Holy shit.
This is a special place for us. It was magic here when I was your age. My old house is finally for sale, and I'm buying it.
Just want to go home now.
Wake up.
Okay, it's a film set to pressure cook. Oh my God, these quotes. This film, and I'm going to show you a scene in a second, so you want to know what this film is. Just get ready. Just get ready for this. It is one location boredom. This has to be a COVID shoot. Everything in this movie is in one location. The parking lot to a surfing area in Australia that Cage used to live, and he wants to buy the house, and he's bringing his kid there, and the locals are assholes. And they're saying, you can't surf here unless you live here. And he's like, I'm going to live here. That's the movie. Okay, now there is a twist at the end, but the problem with it is that the screenplay is so repetitive. I'm going to set up a scene here where you can see Cage getting bullied by the locals, okay? Over and over and over for like an hour and 43 minutes. This is a clip from The Surfer where you're going to see said bullying with the police officer who's part of the local surf crew. They're all crooked.
I told you to wait up at the car park.
I want my surfboard.
Okay. I'm sure it's just a mix-up. Is it one of these?
Dude, that's my board, and I want it back.
There's Cage doing Cage, right? He can't just say, dude, I want my board back. He's got to just, lean into the Cageness.
Listen, mate, I think you've been out in the sun too long.
They took it from me last night. They threatened me with a broken bottle.
Why don't you take a drink of water?
I don't want anything from you. I want my board.
So you're saying they took this from you last night?
Was I not clear?
Well, it's just the problem is, and I can tell you myself, that old board's been up there for as long as I can remember. How long?
I reckon we put it up there maybe 7 summers back now.
Okay, I'm going to pause. I can't even watch another second of this. So Cage repeatedly has to deal with the asshole. What was the name of that actor, right? I like his haircut. He's got the same mustache I have. He's got to deal with him repeatedly because he's the bully of this group that makes men that surf. And Cage has to figure out how to assimilate with the group and be able to surf. But there's a deeper meaning. The problem with this film is that it's not artistically interesting because I mentioned everything's in one location. The shots are like, whatever, nothing special. And then you have the impact lesson by the fact that artistically, when you get to the finish of this film, which tries to do a lot of what's real and what's in the head, what's in the imagination, what's in the memory. The problem is that the artistic quality is not strong enough to deliver the impact of the moment which you see coming a mile away, right, from the very beginning, that maybe all of this was in Cage's head. Okay, so because of all the problems I just listed and the fact that director is nothing special at all that I see here. This is a 45%. I had a very brutalizing time even sitting through this in a screener here at home. I was itching to grab my phone every 2 minutes because of everything that I just said. But wait, everybody, I'm wrong. I want to stand corrected. This is my fault for being wrong about the evaluation because Jason Blum is coming in here and telling everybody The Surfer is awesome. So, Jason, for this tweet right here, you've answered a lot, okay? It's time to drag Jason Blum again. No channel has even come close to dragging this dude as hard as we have. No one even try. This is everything answered in a tweet. The fact that Jason Blum, who we dragged a few weeks ago on Blumhouse, are they ruining Hollywood? I am always ahead of the curve, and I'm here to tell you this guy is a fraud. This guy has no creative, interesting thoughts, and the fact that he thinks The Surfer is awesome is the proof that I didn't even know I needed. I already had it. And then I go see this. Oh, this explains why he thinks that Imaginary, Night Swim, Firestarter, name another Blumhouse movie that sucks. Five Nights at Freddy's. When you look at Jason, if you think The Surfer is awesome, this explains why you give us crap like Night Swim. This guy's done more damage to Hollywood and Hollywood properties than I would argue any producer in the history of this town. That is how minimally talented from a creative standpoint Jason Blum is. Jason, I'm sorry. I think you seem like a nice guy, but I'm here to tell you, nice guys, not interested. I'm interested in someone who's talented. And you, by saying this film is awesome, and forget everything I already mentioned before, this is now the perfect storm to deliver the final verdict, which is you are, no question, we called it the other week, a film fraud. This film is as far from awesome as possible. Does he have a movie coming with Nic Cage? Remember we talked about that? Right? If a producer or a studio has something coming up with someone, oh, this movie's great because Nic Cage, go see it. Because he's going to work with Nic Cage in a Blumhouse movie. Right? So maybe he doesn't even believe it. I hope he doesn't believe it. This movie's not good. It could have been interesting if you had stronger direction, which, here's the thing, right? This is why this is so important. What I'm doing right now is so crucial because Jason Blum doesn't recognize marginal/average direction. That's why we get the movies we're getting, because he doesn't recognize marginal/average direction in all of his films. Do you see? You see how it fits together? If he thinks that The Surfer is awesome, everything about it, the direction, then that means he also thinks that everything's okay with Night Swim and with Imaginary and with Halloween Kills, Ends, all of that garbage. That's the problem. This is a guy, and we dragged him a few weeks ago. I'll do it again here tonight. This is a guy who came up through the system and managed through effort to get to a place where he has power. I don't know, just being a good guy, it seems like a nice guy. I get all that. But here's the problem. I don't care if you came up through the system. You've got to be good. If I am a baseball player and I come up through the system and you get to the big leagues, you better be able to hit the fucking ball. The problem with Jason Blum is he started in the minor leagues and elevated to the major leagues, and now he's running a team and he's not good. Do you see how damaging that is? Do you guys understand how damaging that collectively is to the entire output of this town when you have someone like Jason Blum calling the shots on films that are not good because he doesn't recognize they're not good? He's colorblind, right? You can't see it. It's like we talk about all the time. It's one thing for you guys not to see it. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Exactly, Mount Film. Maybe he's more impressed by the fact that it costs nothing to make, which means nothing. I don't care. I don't care how much a movie costs to make. Why do I care? You guys, this is what we're going to watch Weapons again, because I really want to watch that trailer. I've only watched it once with you guys. I want to watch it again. Those of you who missed it the other day, this trailer is really strong. I'm going to talk about it again because I think a lot of you want to discuss this film, and it has the makings of something great. But just quickly wrapping up on Blum, the reason I go so hard on this is because you have to understand when someone is in a position that they're making calls on the quality and the creativity of projects, and they don't understand what constitutes good, great, or elite, whatever level that we're looking for something that's way beyond just good. And his films are not even that. That's a problem. Do you guys understand? You can't have someone in a position of power who doesn't have talent. That is one of the biggest, that's what DEI, we talk about DEI. Jason's is not a DEI play. But you guys understand, that's where you get in trouble because you have somebody in a position that they shouldn't be, and they have power they shouldn't have, and then they use that power to make films that should not have been made. So now you've got a problem. You can't just like rip it out. You've got to go back in and tear the whole thing out. You got to like tear Blumhouse down. It's never going to happen. So that's why I say, if there's one person who's done more damage to this town than anybody else, I don't know about the history, but certainly in the past decade, 2 decades, it's Jason Blum and Blumhouse. They have done more damage to quality than any studio in the history, and that goes back. Harvey Korman, this is garbage. His stuff is not good. He knew what he was making. This shit, Roger Corman. When you look at this, that he is a fraud, and it's a shame. It's a fucking shame. And guess what? Weapons is not a Blumhouse movie, is it? What I tell you guys, when we watched Weapons the other day, I discussed Boulder Light Pictures. Boulder Light is everything that Blumhouse wishes it were. Boulder Light is run by 2 dudes who know what quality is, because consistently I've at least seen interesting films with artistic value. They don't just crank shit out. And when you look at Weapons, it's another of theirs in tag team with Krager. They worked on Barbarian, and now again here with Weapons. Let's watch the trailer again. I'll give you my thoughts on the back end of this, because I'll tell you what, I am very, very impressed by what I see, and I think this could end up being, if it's as good as it appears, it could end up being one of the best films of the year. It really could. If it delivers on the premise, if it delivers on the potential that I see here. Let's watch Weapons again. You're watching MMT on this Sunday night.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark. And they never came back.
Okay, so that is wow, right? We are 48 seconds in, and everything about this world has just been revealed to you. So you know what the stakes are, you know the scenario, and now you can come into the film without knowing much, because another thing Blumhouse does is gives you everything in the trailers. This gives you just enough mystery as we continue here, but that opening is so perfect because it doesn't leave any. What is this about? It tells you right there.
I don't understand at all. Why just her classroom? Why only hers?
I also like Zach's cinematography. You saw it in Barbarian. I think you see even more of it here. It looks like Denis, right? It looks like Prisoners. This film really does, doesn't it? It has the same kind of feel. If I'm comparing a director to Denis, hello.
Where are our children?
We have a lot of emotional parents here. I think it's best if you keep some distance from this place.
Very long legs, right? They are using that blueprint here on Weapons. We saw Neon come in and just crush that marketing campaign. I just wish that Long Legs were a better film, right? That supernatural twist at the end. Hot trash. It ruins the entire film. Let's hope that doesn't happen here.
Matthew, where are you? Where did you go?
This is where the story really starts.
And I think what I pray for this film is that it is dark. Okay, go back to Handling the Undead, a film that I recommended earlier when I was talking about depression versus what we saw in Thunderbolts. Watch Handling the Undead. I hope it has that tone, which is unrelenting and is unflinching. And I pray that Zach does that and pull no punches. At the end, if it's a super depressing down ending, look at Hereditary, Ari Aster's best film, not a contest, okay? Right at the end of that, you're like, oh, damn. But that's the gut punch. You gotta do that. And I believe what I just saw, if it keeps this tone and doesn't do something like a supernatural doll, then we'll be able to consummate a classic coming up in August. This looks fantastic. I know every trailer looks fantastic, right? You hope. But I have faith that Zach is not going to fuck this up. I think Barbarian is a very ambitious film. I have my problems with it. I mentioned Don't Breathe, right? Don't Breathe's the one where he has the girls in the basement. Which is the one he has the one in the basement? I maybe said the wrong movie all the time. He has the girls in the basement and he's inseminating them. Is that I know, right, guys? If you haven't seen it, you're like, what's Weber talking about? It has a lot of that going on in it. It does look good, Phantom. I agree. Yeah, and listen, again, go back to Boulder Light. And the fact that Roy Lee watches the stream, Roy is the producer of this film, and Roy does. I told you the story about Roy Lee. Roy Lee, I was at the Strange Darling premiere, and I was walking over to the bar, and I hear this, Erick Weber. I'm like, yeah? He's like, Roy Lee. I'm like, hey, Roy. He knew I didn't really love Barbarian as much. We talked. We had a great conversation, Roy. If you're watching, a big fan. The fact that you didn't love our script as much kind of hurt. But you make horror films. What do you expect? Our film's not a horror film. But it's nice. I'm not just saying this. If Roy watched, I would still say the film doesn't look good. You guys know I don't play that game, right? I just mention these things. I need you guys to understand. When I say these things happen. I don't make shit up. None of the stuff I say on here has ever been hyper realized. It's all happened. And the reality of this channel is, even if we don't have 10 million views, I can promise you this, and I know this for a fact. People in this town watch this show. I get DMs from people that go, holy shit, last night you nailed this. Bang, bang, bang. And listen, it is what it is. I think people appreciate authenticity, fearlessness, objectivity, and some talent. These things you cannot replicate without having something that's original, and that's what we do here. It's exactly what we do. We're 100% authentic. You guys know that. Tonight's kit is Newport County. I went for a League 2 tonight. Look, guys, I told you guys, look, do you see it? There's the League 2 badge. I don't mess around. When these kits have to be field ready, pitch ready. If they are not, I will not wear them. This is a very small League 2 English side. If you guys watching the UK, you're like, oh my God, Newport County. That's what we do here. We strive to throw some weird things at you, and we just did. We're going to watch another trailer in a minute, but let's get a couple comments. Anything I missed on the way in? Talk about Untold. Wait, what oh no, quickly. Okay, my quick story on Untold from last night. It's a small Philippine horror film. I went to see it with the A-list. I walked into the movie. I sat down. The film starts after like 25 minutes of previews and ads and promos for AMC. I'm so furious. Then the movie starts, and I can tell within the first 5 minutes, I'm like, this is not good. I can tell within 5 minutes, the direction is not great. The story's not going to work. I just got up and left. So I actually went back up, and I said, give me my A-list back. And they looked at me, and I said, just in case I need another one this week? And they take your ticket, they scan it, and they remove it. I stayed for 5 minutes. I was like, I'm done. I'm not watching Untold. So I do not have another MMT evaluation tonight, because here's the thing. I believe that at this point, I have watched enough movies to know that if I think something's not going to work, and it's something as small as Untold, a tiny little horror film that's a foreign film, who cares? I'm leaving. I got other things to do. I'll go home and watch a replay of anything that I've seen before that I like versus this, because it's an hour and 45 minutes I got to commit to. So if I pull the ejection seat and get out of there at 5 minute mark, I'm good. There were 4 other people in the theater like, where'd that guy go? Did he go get popcorn? You guys know I don't eat popcorn. Protein bar, maybe. But he just disappeared. But they probably didn't notice it wasn't good. This is the bane of being the best in the business. When you watch it, you go, that's it, I'm out of here. Alto Nights, I lasted an hour. The reason I wanted to stay for Alto Nights is Warner Brothers. It's De Niro. I wanted to give a full evaluation, but that film's so bad, I couldn't stay. I couldn't hang. I couldn't do it. This film had nothing riding, right? None of you care about Untold. I don't care about Untold, so I'm out of here, right? I got out of the house. What a terrible weekend weather-wise here, by the way. Rainy, cloudy, garbage. I think that's one of the reasons you saw Thunderbolts kind of pop a little higher than initially looked, because you had people in LA going to the movies way heavier. The mall was slammed. The movie theater last night was absolutely packed, and the woman who was taking the tickets, the usher, she was like, oh yeah, we've been slammed all day because the weather out here in LA drives business for obviously a movie, because if it's really nice outside, people are going to go to the park, to the beach. As soon as it's like crappy, cloudy, gloomy, perfect weapons weather, you're going to just go to the movie theater. And so many people here see movies. As you guys know, AMC Burbank, the number one AMC typically on any given weekend overall. It is absolutely packed, all three locations. So I just said, I'm done. I don't need to be here. Congratulations, though, for all the business. I'm happy to see that, you know, even though I don't love Sinners, certainly not a huge fan of Thunderbolts. I love to see movies making money, because we had that stretch this year. Remember early this year? Holy shit, we were calling the death of movies. Small films are still in really big trouble, but at least Minecraft came in and gave us hope again. Then Sinners. And Thunderbolts, even at 76 million, hey, listen, it's not 50. 76 is, listen, again, Shang-Chi / Eternals on the global. It is what it is. Marvel's got big problems, and the problems are, again, back just quickly to the top, Marvel's got to make great films, and they're not making great films. And if you do not do that, then that's where you suffer, right? Same thing with Blumhouse. I drag that. You're not making great films. Why are you not making great films? Because the scripts aren't great, because the directors aren't that talented. I go back, listen, if you show me a director, a debut, I can spot within seconds if I want to work with that director. Rose Glass, within moments of watching Saint Maud, I want to work with Rose Glass pretty much in any capacity. Now, that said, I got to see her script. I think the last one, Love Lies Bleeding, had issues, but I still love her filmmaking, right? She has a great aesthetic. She knows what she's doing. I think Zach does too from Barbarian. You can see it, and also here in Weapons. Once you see that talent, I want to be in business with you. Parker Finn, right? Who, of course, is featured in the studio. We'll talk about the studio episode 7 moments away. But when you look at that, you got to be able to identify that. And the fact that Jason Blum watches The Surfer and says it's awesome, I wouldn't hire the director of The Surfer to do a single film for me if I worked for ZYX. Okay, that's how lowly I think of that. Okay, it's not even an option. I don't even know who directed. Man, woman, no idea. I have no idea. I don't care. Never even looked. Because it's never enters in the evaluation. I've never gone, it's a woman, therefore. I didn't say Rose Glass is a woman. I didn't even know. When I found out it was a woman director, who cares? It's fucking great. Same thing with After Sun. Woman, who cares? Great. See, we don't do that. Let's talk about the studio. Episode 7. Talks about DEI. They're trying to make the Kool-Aid movie, right? Let me pull it up. Do I have it here? There. And maybe we'll watch one more trailer before we get out of here. So I finally got around to it. I think the studio is losing steam, right? We've seen the last 2 episodes not really deliver the level of greatness that we saw. Episode 2 is unreal, right? The Oneer is one of the best things I've seen, right? Start to finish, brilliant stuff. But now we've had a little bit of a lull. This episode sees them back with the Kool-Aid movie, getting ready to show it at Comic-Con in Anaheim, and they have to cast it. And they get into all of these issues with, is the cast too black? Is it too white? Is this representation? And it's really, I think, a clever way to discuss the problem with Hollywood that we've talked so often about. When you try to make a film and you're trying to appease this group, or we have to have this representation, you're going to hinder your overall product, because you're not making the best film. You're worried more about checking a box, making sure we don't get attacked for this or for that because the cast is too white, or whatever it may be, if you're anti-woke, too black, whatever it is. At the end of the day, what's interesting about the episode is they think they have all their bases covered, and of course AI comes in and everyone's like, holy shit, you're using AI. You can't make everybody happy. I talk about this all the time, and this episode really demonstrates that. If you try to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one. If you try to be for everyone, you'll not be interesting and end up just being milquetoast like a Chris Stuckman. That is not what we do. We are not for everybody, but that's the goal. I have never tried to, whenever I do a stream here, a reaction, it's never been to appease this part of the population or this. It's always about, is the film creatively a home run or is it a strikeout or somewhere in between? And I think what you see in this episode is what Hollywood, the issue that we've seen repeatedly over the past 5+ probably 10 years, where instead of worrying about quality, you're like, will this play for this audience? Will I be seen as racist for this? Here's the thing. If you go into it saying, I'm not going to answer that question, how dare you? We need to have that conversation more. I say it all the time. I'm going to shut you down. Do not bring that into my world. I'm not that person. And we cast the best people for this film, and that's the end of the discussion. And if I'm in front of an audience, I'm going to say exactly what I just said. People will say, wow, he's abrasive. Too bad. I'm not going to sit here and play. When you play the wishy-washy stuff, it's going to get you in trouble. I told you guys, if you brought me into the room on any situation, I'm going to come in. In this episode, I would have walked in and said, what are we talking about here, guys? You're talking about representation. You got Ice Cube as Kool-Aid Man. You've got everything I can see. Do these people work? Are you happy with the cast? Do you think they're the best at what then there's your answer. I don't care if someone gets pissed off. That's not my problem. It's not your problem either. Your problem is make the best possible movie. End of discussion. I'm walking out of the room. The episode's over. We don't do that anymore because we have this world of, oh no, someone's going to be offended. Too fucking bad. I don't care if you're offended. That's not my deal. My deal is making the best possible film. I would make in a second. I would absolutely go back and make any movie of Blazing Saddles, anything that Tropic Thunder, anything that was edgy, I would make. I don't care what it is, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to worry about the cries of the blue-haired weirdos on film Twitter. I don't give a shit. You guys have enough problems figuring out how you're going to dress tomorrow. Not my issue. My issue is making the best possible film, and frankly, I don't give a shit about what you have to say, because I know in my heart and what I'm doing is dead on and it's going to be good. I don't need your approval. That's the issue we have, right? So many people, I got to be approved. No, I don't. I don't have to be. I don't need it. I've never asked for it. Not how you run your life. You run your life based on what makes you happy without ruining other people. When I go to the movies, I'm not saying chuck stuff all over the place and talk and get on your phone. I'm saying you don't worry about someone else's opinion of you. It doesn't matter. I say it all the time. And as a studio head, I'm going to walk in and say the same thing. I don't care what the perception is. We're going to make this film, and when it's great, they're all going to shut up. That's exactly how the conversation goes. End of discussion. What the studio is telling me about Hollywood is everyone will turn you on. Yeah, that's what we talked about. A lot of backstabbing, a lot of saying what you are expected to say. You don't want to get anyone all in a, tizzy because they're angry that you said this or that. I'm not going to worry about that. People's feelings, too bad. This younger generation of feelings. I mean, there's so much discussion now, right? Let's talk about the whole situation with the woman at the park. All of that, right? Words. I strongly believe this. I'm not suggesting that you should be using a racial slur, but I will say this, that ultimately freedom of speech speaks, and yes, you can be punished for that, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to, in my life, get all worked up on a name someone called me. Granted, says the white guy, but my point is this, is that if you allow other people to get under your skin to the point where someone says that you don't even know a word that is triggering, you need to figure out a way to make that less triggering, correct them without resorting to violence, whatever. People say shit about me all the time. I just mute or block and I don't care. And granted, again, different mindset, but at the end of the day, you cannot allow other people that have no bearing on your life worry about what they have to say about you. It's what it comes back to. This episode is 100% on point with all of that messaging. And yes, I would agree 100%. This town is all about backstabbing, not telling you the truth, and, trying to message it in a nice way. I don't care. Tell it to me straight. When we were passing our script around, if you don't like it, say why. Tell me why. Bang, bang, bang. I don't give a shit. It's not going to hurt my feelings. The win is, in everything, is this. Doing it. I talked about doing the stream when we started the stream. I wanted to do the stream. I don't care how it's received. I don't care how many views it has, how many likes it has, I don't care. I am here to make a stream that I believe is authentic, true, and has discussions about things that some people don't want to talk about. Maybe they're uncomfortable. Too bad. We need to have those discussions. We cannot have this, oh, you're offending me. Oh, I am hurt. Oh, you can't do this. I'm scarred. Too bad. Get over it, okay? We're Gen X. My generation, holy shit, I told you the story. My friend and I beat the fuck out of each other, man. Outside of my friend's house, Mike Allen back in Gahanna. Me and my friend Keith just beat the I mean, I'm talking, dude, it was a violent fight. And then as soon as the fight was over, we went inside and hung out. Because ultimately, our generation is that generation. We've been beat up and thrown out and done all this shit, and we grew up as kids that were just wild. We were feral. So this generation, though, is so coddled. And also the whole, you're so great. No, you're not. You're not that great. Sorry. Not everybody's great. You might be great at one thing. You're not great at another. And I can tell you this. I know this. I'm good at what I do. I'm good at this, okay? There's a lot of people who are not good at this. They pretend they are. I don't understand how you do that, but they're able to, delusionally think that. It's very weird because if anything, I'm extremely hard on myself. I look sometimes, someone says, hey, you're this. Oh, I would agree with that. But at the end of the day, I still don't allow that to change how I'm going to go through the world and operate, because I'm not going to worry about getting someone a little bit unhappy with some of the things I had to say. It just life's too short, man. Hell, I don't even know how much longer we're going to be here. How about that? All right, it's all me, by the way. I'm all by myself. Gone Girl's like, I can't do anymore. And frankly, I don't blame him. Coach, let's see here. Would you like to see a Surf Ninja sequel? I don't even remember seeing Surf Ninjas. I don't think I ever saw it. Let's do the thing out of here. Let's do the comment blast closeout. Let me pop that up. Give me a second. There it is. Give me there. All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to play tonight's track. By the way, I want to mention one more time off the top, I mentioned that tonight's track is available as a free download. I put it in the comments on the stream tonight. Also, it's in the description on YouTube. If you want to download this track, I love this track. It is something I haven't heard in years. I was just digging through my iPod, my phone, whatever, you know what I call it. And I go, holy shit, I forgot about this. This is 85 again by Robert Parker as we get ready for the comment blast closeout here on this Sunday night. Thanks for being here as always. We'll be back on Thursday talking about friendship. I think I'm going to save that for Thursday. There's screenings here in LA on Monday night, tomorrow, but I don't know if I want to see a movie. We'll see. If I see it, maybe I'll do a stream tomorrow. I doubt it, but maybe. Comments, let me get to them here. Give me 1 second. I'll hit as many as I can before the song runs out. I never saw it. I'm sorry. I don't even... next week. I'll show it next week. Viral videos of people being rejected. Is this... is that right? I don't even understand that. Just people being rejected? So what? We're all rejected. Shit, man. You take a shot. You don't always win in life. You take the shot and you just move on. You guys know I play beach volleyball on Sundays. I'm not that great. I'm okay, but I lose a lot of games, but I don't give a shit. I enjoy going out and playing. You don't have to worry about it, man. Whatever makes you happy. Don't worry about other people and what they are thinking about you. I thought I could never be offended by milk toast. Yeah, Mandy's one of his better films, no question. Oh, no question about it. Let me go back to some of you who are... what is this Department of Film Efficiency? That would be good, Joe. Joe, I love it. I love it. It's fair. I'd be good, man. Because I'd be fair, right? I'd be 100% fair on that. And I think that's... You guys know that. I'd be perfect in this job. You'd be always like Trump. I got that one guy's like, he's the right winger. Shut up, dude. I'm the man. You're not. Let's just say that. The irony that Netflix buys shows and depends on theatrical films. Yeah, I know, right, Joe? Joke. You're a monster if you took your kids to see Sausage Party. It's true. True. You went to Hollywood last night for America Cinematique. How do you say that? I've never really said that out loud. All of Highland is sad. Yeah, no, dude, listen, it's bad. Luis, it's really terrible. I don't even go down there anymore. You know that. Yeah, 100%. Eli, everywhere. Everywhere out here. Yeah, it's bad. People don't want to live here anymore because it's not a great town. LA's not a great town. I'm here because I've been here long enough that I have friends, I have things, that it's like moving doesn't make any sense. But I can tell you this, there'll probably be a point where I'm like, I'll just leave. I just don't know when that's going to be. I'm not in a rush, but I can tell you this, I wouldn't move out here now. Now that I'm here, I'm good, but I would not move out here anyway. Now, there's no way I'd recommend coming out here. Not because I don't want you here. It's just, there's other places. There have to be. This is not a great. Thank you. I don't know what I'm preaching about, but 100% thank you. I missed it. This was a while ago. At 7:30, I said something really good. I don't remember what it was, but it was good. Probably the first 15 minutes of the stream was fucking fire tonight, guys, wasn't it? It was a good one tonight. That was fun. Taking Kevin Feige and Jason Blum to task tonight on MMT. So yeah, again, we'll be back on Thursday night when we discuss Friendship. It's the new A24 film, and it's got a limited platform release, and they're showing it tomorrow night. But again, I just don't feel necessarily going to a movie, so I think we'll just save it for Thursday. There's nothing coming out this weekend. Thunderbolts better clean up. If it does not clean up this next weekend, I don't even know what to tell you, because it has no excuse not to hold strong. We'll see what happens here as we are wrapping up the stream here on this Sunday night. Thanks for being here. MMT is out.